Hello everyone, my name is Edward James Tagg. I've done some of these YouTube videos before. Today is very specific and quite revealing personally. It's a coming out video, if you like, just to reveal my true identity. I've been on a spiritual path for 20 years and I'm going to explain what it means and how I became aware that I was a Sirian starseed, essentially an earth guide. Some people may, look at that claim and, might not be for you, and that's okay, no problem. So it's kind of not a disclaimer, but a little bit of a heads up that this video will start at beginner's level, move through to intermediate level, but it will become extremely advanced at the end. So just be aware that if this gets too advanced or it's just not your thing, please, just call it quits, end it where you need to, and just get what you want out of it. So it sounds like a huge claim, but it's been an ongoing process for me, how I became aware that I was essentially an earth guide from Sirius, and I work with lots of Palladians, and I'm really going to be talking about my journey and providing the proof and the evidence that I've received from channeling and my guides and life experience, and what that personally means to me, how I live my life, and how I'm here essentially to help others. So I've got lots of channeled writings here from someone that I met. I'll describe that. But on other videos and blogs, I talk about my Nirvikalpa Samadhi and my Kundalini experience, which is really, really quite out there, quite mind-blowing. Today it's going to be more specific on how I learnt what it means to be a Sirian earth guide, how that came about. Okay, so just really quick and concisely, living in London and around about the age of 35, 36. Had my spiritual awakening, was really, really huge. For 10 days I just felt like I had similar thoughts or energies or feelings or experience to how I imagined that maybe Jesus or Buddha or any other spiritual enlightenment teacher, and I looked at various different other disciplines like Sufism and Buddhism and everything, and I kept moving through things really quickly but not really finding anything. But in my 10 days of spiritual enlightenment, I just knew something profound was going on. And then at 33 seconds past 33 minutes past 3 o'clock in the morning, just 3 a.m, this internal voice says, go downstairs and watch television on Channel 3 in England, which is ITV. There was an article about traveling to Los Angeles and getting a green card and getting married. And then at 33 seconds past 33 minutes past 7 in the morning, same voice, same message, same TV program. So I kind of got excited. I thought I'd love to go and try living in Los Angeles, and I was going to go for interviews to work. At that time my skill was working as a classical woodcarver. So I was in the shower and hearing this voice. I was just discussing and saying, okay, so when? And this voice says, look on the pipe coming out of the shower head, and it said, I think it said 26, and I thought, oh, 26th of June is only 2 weeks away, I haven't got the money. And this voice said, no, we want you to go on the 26th of July, which gave me approximately 6 weeks to come up with the money and go to Los Angeles, which I did, and that's a long story. And my passport and airline ticket and everything got lost conveniently in a public library, so I was forced to stay beyond my allotted time, for a very, very powerful reason, because later on I met a woman who essentially was a Palladian guide, similar to me. I'm a Sirian, and she, I won't really reveal too much information because she has a very quiet life far away, and I want to respect her privacy and to have a private, easy life. So anyway, she got hit on the head, and then it opened up something in her brain, and she could do automatic writing, and her guides or angels would literally move her hand in very script-like fashion. I'll show you, give an example of what it looks like. It's very unusual to look at. Here's an example I'll show you quickly. It's very scroll-like, and revealed lots of information about my identity. And I was having contact with Mother Mary, so how I met Mother Mary at that time, very, very quickly. A job further out in the valley, on a bus, this voice says, just look out the window and I'll give you a 10-second countdown. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there was a tall painted mural of Mother Mary, and I get goosebumps, and then the voice say, look out the window, and there'd be a big tick like a confirmation sign at a gas station. And I got 5 of these huge painted murals in the working class part of downtown Los Angeles, or in the valley where all the Mexicans painted these murals. And then other things happened. This voice came through, paintings of Mother Mary and walking down alleys. It's a very, very complicated story, which I won't go into because that's not the gist of this story. So, when I was in spiritual enlightenment, I essentially became a super psychic. So messages are coming through naturally and calm, really in the flow, if you like. And I won't go into that either because that's too complicated. So I want to get into this automatic writing and explain how I learnt what it means to be a starseed or a guide, essentially an earth guide, which some people might call an angel, but which are mythological beings with wings, which is not true. But I can talk about some of the associations of what that means. So I'll just read some of these. When I first came into contact with this person, they confirmed that yes, I was communicating with Mother Mary. Some very profound information came through after my Kundalini experience. It said, let us explain Edward's Kundalini experience. He was being told to let go of his negative attitudes about mother and father. And then it says, when head made the adjustment, new energies surged through the base of the spine, up the body, made orgasmic sensation, and Edward make him stop, sing him a song. Now, when you translate into Palladian or Sirian, the grammar can sound strange. So why was I chosen for this? It said, because he was chosen for his light. He is a highly evolved soul who shines very brightly like you. That's the person who was channeling it. And essentially, this is information that's came to me over about a period of 18 years. So I kind of had to adjust and get used to the identity. I was having some very interesting dream experiences doing a lot of flying, but I've had flying dreams, astral traveling as a child, which I won't go into, very, very complicated dreams. Then further on in 2012, which is many, many years after the beginning, messages like diligent brain is beautiful, we love your diligent brain, its entire focus is on the betterment of humans. And then further on, it talks about past lives, and it says blood is blue. Edward was a blue blood. Edward was very evolved. Blue bloods were very evolved, not evil, which breaks that conspiracy theory about royal families and stuff. And it says Palladian watchers make Edward laugh a lot. They wish him to know they are not angels, they are Palladians. They watch him blow kisses to nature. You have a Palladian entourage. And I said, who was I in a past life in England? Said, we wish you to weed out your desire to go backwards. Blue bloods were very evolved people. You have brought that through in this life and must brave the vulgarity of humans now. If we tell you who you were then, you would spend most of your time aching for that time again. You must be aware that bad press on blue bloods is wicked. And it goes along a lot to talk about my mother, who passed at that time. She was leaning on a barn door and happy. And okay, then it talks, moving along, I want to concise this. It's talking about Mother Mary now. Mary lives on Sirius. She is one of the oldest Sirians. No one has wings except for birds. And just a heads up on that, Sirius and Pleiades have been in existence from the beginning of the universe, about 15 billion years. So that's when all of this started. And and then there's someone else comes in who's different. I won't give you their name because actually the name of this person is known. There is no hierarchy. We are all equal. There is, however, more experienced guides. We believe in equality. To put one being over another or above another begins the process of inequality. Inequality begins the process of chaos. You have been communicating with humanoid beings from other planets who have chosen to watch over and guide humans. And then previously they were telling me about my name. So my Sirian name is Nepal, Nepol. So it says here on Friday the 7th of September 2012, it says Nepal breaks records on home planet for length of time spent on Earth. You have been one of the longest serving Earth guides. So previously they told me I was highly evolved and I was working with angels, but now this is the first, or not the first time, but it's indicating that really directly that I'm an Earth guide, and specifically breaking record on planet Sirius as the longest serving. I had a dream, which I won't read it because it's very long, but basically the ship was trying to get into America, being bombarded by bullets, and we were all pushing our energy to get through. And it was a very, very lucid, very powerful dream. And it said, dream was real. You leave your body when you rest at night. War is still ongoing. So I could read a lot more. The last one I'll read is quite beautiful. It's a nice one to finish with. It said, bless parents and children, bless animals and birds, bless the trees and the wind, the waterways and the clouds. Let blessings be your bread and butter and love be your guide. Blow kisses to the ugly and wool yourself in winter. Continue your romance with Mother Nature, Edward, for you are blessed. Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about what all this means. So you may not have heard much of this before. I know there's a lot of channeling out there, and I won't go into the pros and cons of what else is out there. I'll just tell you from my experience, 20 years on my spiritual path, I was led to this person. My feeling, this person had stigmata here, here, and here, and on the chest and also on the feet, and they didn't know what stigmata was, and I saw it appearing from one day to the next. And this person's very saintly, very calm, and puts all their energy into helping humanity, as do I. So I had a lot of powerful dreams where I was flying. Once there was a crane that crashed in New York, and in this dream I was helping workers dig the crane up and lift it and see if there were people underneath. And then later on I actually got on the internet and did some research and found out that there was a crane that crashed in New York at the same time. I've also been in bomb sites in London in dream time where I've been helping rescue workers. So one of the reasons I live in New Zealand is because during my sleep time, particularly in London and some parts of America, it's their daytime, so that time differential enables me to leave my body and work, as if you like. So there are millions of watchers, guides. Some people think of them as angels or beings of light or whatever. They do have physical bodies, or we do have physical bodies on our home planet in Sirius and Pleiades. And then there's other information here that's channeled that talks about when our souls are encased in a craft, we can fly around, but mostly all the battles and all the angelic work, if you like, and inspiring others is done astral traveling in the soul, and their physical bodies are back home on the home planets. So I know this information may seem very, very advanced. For me, it's got not very ho-hum. It's just become easier to accumulate or to inculcate into my mental schema because it's very peaceful, it's very relaxed for me. It doesn't bother me. In the beginning I found some of it quite overwhelming, but I just try and live a life of peace and integrate it. wholesomely into my heart and inspire others. So where that leaves me today, this is, as I say, a revelation, regardless of how that comes across or what I'm here to do. The most important message or the most important process is the process of love and inspiring and leading others to shine their light or to bring love into their lives or transform. One of my specialties is emotional healing. I had some child abuse in a foster home between the ages of 5 and 11. They also talk here. So I said, here's one. I said, why did I have abuse in a foster home? Was it karmic or was I bad previously? Which kind of worried me karmically. And then the answer was it was beneficial because it pushed you into healing others. You chose to do it. So I was on planet Sirius. I'd been beaten to death by Nazis as a Jew in World War II, so that means I had a 20-year break on planet Sirius, working wholly as a starseed all the time. And in 1963, when I was born, I was part of a medical experiment called a cervical stitch or a Shirodka suture, and I was the first successful experiment in England after 13 miscarriages, and they called me the miracle baby, and I've got photographs up there, big photographs for the newspaper. So if you like, that was kind of a heads up that I was here to do something. So I think I've said enough now, really. Yeah, so that's it, really. I'm just here to help, and you can think of it in terms of an angelic being, or you can think of it in terms of a starseed. There's probably 1 million or so starseeds that are coming into their own identity now on Earth. There's lots of children. There's not so many people my age, but there are a lot of children, and they call them indigo children or crystal children, or there's lots, and there's lots of really, really amazing movies called YA or young adult movies about children with special powers. And they focus on things like, shifting things, with their mind control and levitating. And all that is not accurate. I've also learnt through these channelings that Jesus was simply a teacher of love. He was also a Sirian, as his mother Mary, who I'm telepathically in contact with. And he didn't perform any miracles. Water into wine, walking on water, that was all just trumped up by the church to give the church power and to make people in fear. If they went and did something bad, they'd go to hell. And Jesus' hand was chopped off by a Roman soldier and is now in a vault in Denmark, hidden away. And you can see evidence in the Bible when Jesus later on appeared to John, who was cast out on an island. He was in a very different body. He was taller, he was full of light, he was luminous, blue eyes, whatever. And so you can see there's a different description. So he resurrected in his Sirian body, and but not in his damaged physical earth body. So there are descriptions in Ezekiel and Daniel of UFOs and spaceships and burning bushes and manna from heaven. So the Bible really is kind of a textbook on contact with higher beings. And I think I've said enough really there. That's what I'm here to do, just to help others.